So you have a message that you want to share with the world, or you're just starting a business, or maybe even a combination of both of those. You're going to love this particular episode because today I am bringing on a special guest, and you will notice that she has a lovely, beautiful accent. The woman speaks 5 different languages. Here they are. I had to write them down. She speaks Italian, English, Spanish, French, and Catalan, which is a region of France. You're going to love listening to her. She's one of my students from In Demand Signature Speech, and she talks about why she wanted to start using speaking as she was growing her very infant business. You're listening to Be in Demand, the podcast for honest advice, inspiring stories, and ideas for growing your business by leveraging the expert that you are. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, business mentor, and I'm also a reformed painfully shy girl, red wine lover, and exercise enthusiast. Join me as I share how being positioned as the expert in your industry, even if it's a busy one, will help you stand out and be the one in demand to hire and work with. Well, hello, all my Be in Demand listeners. Today, I am bringing on a very special guest. She is one of my students from my In Demand Signature Speech. Even I'm flubbing up the name here. We were just having a great conversation beforehand, and it's just hit record because she was one of the students, and she jumped in on this without. She knows what her business is going to be. She's still in the process of building that business, but she was just like, I'm going to learn how to speak because I'm going to get my message out there to everybody. Darling, would you introduce yourself? Because I love to hear the way you say your name.
So hello, this is Mireia. I am the main of Harmony in Life. This is my company, and I am an hypnotherapist and I am a coach, and I also help my clients a bit with mentorship regarding self-love, loving truly themselves, speaking to themselves nicely and with love, and to trust in themselves.
Trust is so huge. So let's just get right into this. Why did you join In Demand Signature Speech?
To the point.
Yeah, well, you had just finished right? Am I correct? You just finished your hypnosis training, or was there an overlap?
No, the hypnosis training, I finished it in September, but I was starting charging for my services before that. Before 2022, I was doing it for free. So I was starting being in the real business because I was charging for my services. So yeah, it was kind of, one straightforward, I would say. And why did I enjoy, why did I join In Demand Speech? I think it was because I really wanted to learn the amazing tools that you were going to give me. I had the feeling, my intuition was telling me that in order to be able to speak in the way I wanted to, I had to join you, because I've seen you talking. I've seen you in different programs. I've seen you also in Instagram, and I love how you said that in the beginning you were super shy. And I mean, I would never say that you are shy ever, and it feels natural. I love your story and the way you are telling stories. I love it, and how you speak. So I wanted to learn how you were doing this, even though I was in the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur.
So. And yeah, most people don't believe me when I say I'm a reformed, painfully shy girl who couldn't even make eye contact. because you're seeing the evidence of years later. Not that it takes years to get to this place, but you're seeing I was just determined, and so. Also part of, In Demand Signature Speech is also about really communicating your message, being able to share your message with the world, because speaking is very efficient. And you have a message about self-love and self-trust. And how do you feel now, having gone through the program, that your message How do you feel more? Do you feel more confident with your message and how you share it?
Oh, yeah. The thing is, I enjoyed it a lot, your program. I have to say that I enjoyed it a lot because, yes, I was getting the tools, but at the same time, it was easy. And I love that it was easy to implement the tools that you were giving. And I I'm using it. I'm using it, all these kind of tools in my speech. And it feels natural and it feels good. And
Go
I
ahead.
love it.
Say more about like the easy part and where like how you're using it.
So the way I'm using it is that, well, you give us some tools, some tricks, and I'm using it directly in my presentations. So I'm using, for instance, the pillars of the structure of my presentation. I'm using the stories, how many not I'm telling, depending on my audience. Well, I can go on and on, telling what I've learned from you, but what it helped me out is to find that it's easy. And for me, it was very important to not make it complicated,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to make it really complicated to speak in front of people. And you helped me out to realize that I can be a professional with the tools that you gave me.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about that. I remember that moment that you asked me, like, do I have to wear a suit? And I was like, no, you don't have to wear a suit to be a speaker. And you were like, oh my God, I could just like be like, I literally remember this in my moment, your body language of relief, of I get to just be myself. I don't have to be somebody else like up there in front of that. That was so fun. And I see you doing a lot of like IG lives.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the program supporting you in doing IG lives? Like how do you see the difference?
It's kind of hard to explain, to be honest. I don't know it changed, but I think that it gave me confidence on speaking my truth. And it helped me out, this program, to just to embrace who I am and just convey it with IG lives or speaking in other people's programs. It's just, yeah, probably it's confidence, but you didn't give me confidence. You give me the tools to be confident, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And the support also, I have to say that the support was beautiful during the 8 weeks that we've been working together. I love that she was like available for me, and she was sending me boxer ideas like, oh, did you think about doing this? Oh, did you think about doing that? I was like, oh my God, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. And that I really, really appreciate the accountability, and the support mostly.
Thank you. Thank you. I do get a little carried away with lots of ideas. Like I get these downloads and have to share them. And I also, you heard me say this during the program. Probably the most common answer that you'll hear from me is, it depends.
Yes.
When you ask a question. And so after a couple of weeks, when the group is starting to ask me a question, I would go, well, it depends. And the reason why I always say it depends is because it depends, like really like, here are different options, to that. There's always a variety of different answers. So I always want to make sure that people understand that speaking is not like, it's not a cut and paste. It's not like, here you go, like fill in your name here and then say all this. It's art form. And just like when you walk into a museum and there's so many different forms of art, that's what speaking is like too. There's so many different speakers, and I don't want you to speak my style. I just want to give you the tools to put your style in there so that you resonate with your audience. And now you have this speech.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say is that, in fact, it's true. everyone is different. Everybody conveys the message in a different way. So even hypnotherapists, like I am, they can say the same things, but in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, like, the way we speak is not the same as anybody else's.
That's right.
And with your program, I allow myself to find the way that I want to show up and the way I want to speak.
Oh, I love that. So now you found your way to show up. You found your way to speak. You found your way to use your voice, because you've really got a responsibility to share your message with others, so that people know that, the way that they were brought up, the beliefs that they have, like, they don't have to have those beliefs. They get to, like, now as adults, like we get to change that. And can you imagine, like, the people that you're going to impact? I'm just thinking of, like, moms and dads that are in your audience, who are then going to take what they learned from you, and, like, realize, like, oh my goodness, here are some beliefs that I grew up with. I didn't even realize they were beliefs, and I'm giving them to my kids. Like, talk about a ripple effect, and then those children are going to grow up. Look at the power, the number of people that you have the power to impact, because you're sharing your story, because you're telling people about self-hypnosis, because you're telling people about hypnosis, like how to, and then just sharing your stories, your client stories with people. So that your audience gets to see themselves in your stories, so that they get to see their success in your stories. Look at that. Look at the way that you're smiling.
Yeah, because what I was going to say is that probably one of the reasons, now we are talking about this, one of the reasons why I joined is because I wanted my message to be conveyed. And for that, I needed help.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how to. I was missing the how. Exactly. So if you don't know how you want to convey your message, go to Laurie-Ann's program, because she will help you out, basically, to just open up and find your way to do that. And mostly when your message is so strong that even though you are scared to death to speak out loud, sometimes the message is more important. It's bigger than us and needs to get out from us.
Right.
This is what I felt. And that's one of the reasons I think that I joined Signature of in the man signature speech. I never know how to say it.
A bunch of letters. So talk to me about that. Like, were you scared of speaking?
Yes, I mean, I've done a lot of presentations in the past. I am also a scientist. I'm also a marine biologist, and I've been in conferences and I've been speaking to different audiences. But I've never spoken about hypnosis and how hypnosis was impacting us and how hypnosis can help us and what are the myths and so on. And it was another field. For me, it was another field that I wanted to experiment in a different way, because before I was speaking, and it's facts. It's more about facts. Science is more fact-based, even though you can just tailor it and you can just say it in different ways. But I wanted this time not to be driven by university, not to be driven by anything else, but rather from my inside. I wanted to hear what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. And you helped me out with that, basically.
Yeah, academic speaking is very different than, than this kind of speaking, which I say is like you're becoming the marketer, because, like, you're sharing really good value, but also, guiding your audience through an experience of listening to you, so that when you do your call to action, and your call to action can just be like, hey, like, let's just take a moment just to be fully present right here. What if you took that 60 seconds? Like, a lot of times when I say a call to action, a lot of people think, oh, I have to make an offer. And it doesn't have to be some big expensive offer. It can just, like, it's that next step so that you deepen the learning. And yeah, it's very different than academic
Mhm.
speaking. And we also infuse, because there's a scientist in you, and we infused your science. What did we call it? We called it like your nerdy science side.
Yes.
you know, and we call that out in your speech so that the
Mhm.
audience is like, so then your audience completely resonates. All your sciencey people that are going to be in your audience are going to be like, oh yeah, that's me too. I'm a nerdy scientist.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And what I realized that also I want to be inspirational. I want to inspire others to see that change is possible, and that also I want to infuse that in my presentations, and you help me out to infuse that as well. So I'm in love with my presentation. What should I say?
oh, that just makes my heart sing. So let's talk about hypnosis because it's freaking powerful.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm super curious. Like, how did you stumble upon hypnosis? Let's start with that question first.
2 years ago, I started in a self-development journey. I was not in a fantastic place. I was like not feeling really okay with myself, with my environment, with my choices, the way I was living. Nothing was like really in the place I wanted to be. And I started with this self-development journey, and I found out hypnosis. And since then, I kind of fall in love with it. Since then, I do not stop doing hypnosis. It's every day for me. It's like a way of taking care of myself, and I
Mhm.
love it. And I recommend to do the same for everyone.
Yeah. So when you say like that you do self hypnosis every day,
Mhm.
how long is that? Because I think a lot of people have this idea, like, oh my God, like meditation, like I don't have an hour, and you and I both know it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be an hour.
No, no, it can be 15 minutes, it can be 20 minutes. It depends on the person that you are choosing to do the hypnosis with. I mean, it takes longer or shorter. There is a lot of hypnosis that they take 1 hour. And for me, I know that we have lives. I know that I don't want to do 1 hour. Once in a while, I love it, but not every day. And I know that repetition is key. So yeah, I prefer to do 15, 20 minutes, 25 max. This is what I do for myself, and this is what I give to my clients as well. Because
Yeah.
after a session of hypnosis, I give them this audio, and they need to listen to it every single day, um, because repetition is key for our brain
And
to
how long do you recommend
rewire.
that your clients listen? Like, just like you said, like you send them the audio and they have to listen to it. How long do you recommend? Like, is that for like a week, 2 weeks?
So,
What's your
so
protocol?
what I'm doing at the moment is every 2 weeks. I give them every 2 weeks an audio, and they have to listen to it every single day. Um, the thing is, the beauty of about these audios is that you can go back anytime if you feel that you need a little bit of that topic. For instance, the first week in my program is self-love. The second one is self-talk. So depending on the week that you are in, you say,
Mhm.
oh, maybe today I need a bit of self-love. But I recommend my clients to do one at a time. Focus the brain to one topic for 2 weeks, and then you pass to the next one.
Because we're really rewiring our nervous system, our brain.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
And relaxing also, because we are not just doing hypnosis for self-love, for self-talk, or for trusting ourselves, but it's also a moment that our nervous system is relaxed.
it's so interesting that you say that. And it reminds me of when I was in my executive leadership days. You know, we talk about like mindfulness and meditation, how it like increases blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, so that when you have to start making like those stressful decisions, you're not making them out of fear, you're making them out of like logic. So that was something that I would tell all of my executive clients, like, you've got to find 5 minutes every day to just
Mm.
sit and be. So how long is your program? I've already heard that it's starts with self love, then self talk. How long
Yes.
is your program?
So my program right now is 10 weeks. 10 weeks where we go through self-love, a lot of self-talk as well, because the way we talk to others and to ourselves, it's key. The words that we use, they have a specific frequency and a specific meaning for every and each one of us. We talk about that. We talk about values as well, because it helps having a clear mind of what are their values and how do you decide thanks to those values. It helps you enormously to relax a little bit more. For those that we have a bit of problem, or I used to be having a lot of problems deciding. Now I'm using my values to decide with me and for me. And that helps me a lot. And I know that in my past clients, they loved it. Wow. And it's a way to guide them to really trust what their values are and how to decide from them, actually.
Fantastic.
What do we do more? We do values, we do self-love, we do self-talk. We do a bit of science in it, a little bit.
Good.
A little bit. Yeah, I explain what is the science behind hypnosis, why hypnosis is so powerful. Because I think that it's really interesting that we understand why it's powerful. And yeah, the brain loves to know these kind of things.
And so are your hypnosis, like, is this a group program or a personalized one-on-one program?
So it's a one-on-one program.
Okay.
Yeah, I for now I want to keep it like one-to-one, because I love the intimacy and the time to spend with my clients. I want to be close to them at the moment. So it's one-on-one.
I was at the dentist yesterday and I was thinking of you. Because
really?
Yeah, because like, as even if it's just a basic cleaning, I'm just like laying there, and I just kind of like took a couple of deep breaths, just get myself into that. I'm just like, well, like she's working on and polishing my teeth. I can like sit here and be reprogramming my brain, which just relaxes me in the whole in the whole setting, which, they say like most people don't like going to the dentist. And I'm one of those people. Like, it's like, whatever, it's just one of those necessaries. But yeah, I was thinking of you because that's a form of self-hypnosis, is just
totally,
did I get that deep? No, because I'm also listening to her commands, like open your mouth, wider, turn your head, do this, do that. But little, all those little moments all add up.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, there is lots of hypnosis to just be in the dentist and feel okay being in the dentist, for instance, or for the people that they have fears of flying, there's a lot of hypnosis that help with that. And you do it previously. You don't do it during the procedure. You do it before. So your brain, once you sit in the chair, is like, okay, I'm in the dentist. I'm going to remember what I reprogrammed my mind yesterday, the day before yesterday, and it's fine. And you are like, yeah, I'm in the dentist. I'm fine.
And you know what? I have. I'm co-hosting with this guy on his live stream show, and I'm just, like, he already had a co-host, but she's just taking a little bit of time off, and I am like currently like going through the process of programming myself to show up as a co-host. Because it's a live stream show. It's different than speaking in front of an audience.
Yes.
There's a different energy because he turns the live stream show into an audio podcast. So you have there's this responsibility of filling all the space so that there's no dead space. So I'm like literally in the process of, so that next week when I get on that show, I am like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do.
That's awesome.
But that's right. Like, it's about preparing our mind so that when our mind and our body gets into that moment, we're prepared. We know exactly what we're supposed to do, which is why, like, I'm just thinking of this now, like an in-demand signature speech. That's why we have the co-working, so that people can practice their opening, so they can practice their stories, they can practice their authority section, practice their close.
Mm-hmm.
it's
practice, practice, practice.
that's right. And then, and doing exactly what you're talking about doing, like when, that self-hypnosis, like just seeing yourself do this. I think that there's a lot more forms of self-hypnosis than people realize. Because didn't you
Oh,
and I talk?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like daydreaming. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, didn't you
Yes.
and I also talked about
It's like, yeah. It's like
watching
when
TV?
yes, exactly. When you read an amazing book and you are so inside the book that you don't hear anything else on the surroundings, you are in an hypnotic state. You are
Yeah.
in an hypnotic state. That's it. So I think that we don't realize because we have this taboo with hypnosis. We think that this is
Yes.
stage hypnosis. We think that this is what people do.
Yes, that I'm going to like
And
walk around and sound like a chicken. It's like
yeah, and
that it's
it's
manipulative.
yes. And as an hypnotist, it's really important to follow certain ethics and certain morals, So we have a code. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's really important not to harm anybody. And I don't want to harm anybody. Even though I was not having any code, I wouldn't have the
Right.
idea to
That's not
harm anybody. And the thing is that hypnosis, at some point I was hearing somebody saying, oh, but what if I get stuck in hypnosis? Or what if I want to get out of hypnosis? It's like the two options are perfect. You cannot get out. So you can get out of hypnosis anytime you want. Anytime you want. It's not that I'm like forcing you to stay. And the thing is, like, the majority of the people that they are in hypnosis, they don't want to leave because it feels so good. It feels so really good that it's like, no, leave me here. I'm fine. In fact, there's people that they are having pain. And with the hypnosis, they don't have this pain. They don't feel this pain.
wow. That's amazing.
And that's really awesome. We have to embrace this tool because it's so powerful.
And there's so many people. I mean, just pain alone. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
let's take it. I mean, even if we took off the table the self-love, the self-trust, the self-talk, and just focused on pain, there's so many people that are walking around in pain.
All the
Like that's their daily life is to live with pain. I mean, that's amazing. Is there a learning curve to, like, as the client, like as like you and I both know, like our minds are like monkey brains, and like we're thinking about like at least like two or three things at the same time. Is there a learning curve? Like, and I'm asking this out of like, I'm just like, now I'm curious.
It depends. I'm going to use your phrase.
It depends.
It depends. No, it depends. There's people that they are really receptive. For instance, I got a client 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
She got into it and she finished and she said, oh my God, I could feel my heart. I could feel the love. I was tapping into this beautiful, warm feeling. And she was like, wow. And the thing is, like, she's done meditation before. But it was too much silence in it. It was not a guided meditation. It was a meditation,
Yeah.
And she said, you helped me so much to go through some exercises to relax that I was there when I was talking to her to go to the heart space and to get into her heart and see what she was seeing. And she was amazed about what she saw. After one session, she was like, oh my God, I love it so much. It's so beautiful. And that helped her. I mean, the visualization is really important, but mostly it's the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of visualization, but it's the feeling behind the hypnosis. So I'm allowing you to feel certain things that they get like really embodied in your brain and in your being. And it's beautiful.
This brings up a good point that I'm sure my listeners are thinking right now. What is the difference between meditation and hypnosis? Let's just point it out for people.
Yeah, guided meditation is very similar to hypnosis. Okay. The only difference for me, in my opinion, and what I've heard so far, is that guided meditation, the process of relaxation is not as, the exercises are not as guided.
Mm-hmm.
as I would think. And also the meditations, not the guided ones, the non-guided ones, our monkey mind comes up very often and it's more difficult. I mean, for instance, me, 5 minutes of meditation, it's enough. After that, it's a bit more complicated. But with hypnosis, I can be half an hour and I'm fine. And this is what she was saying. I've done other meditations before and I couldn't focus. I couldn't
Right.
just keep my mind in silence. And with your voice and with your music, because I put some music to relax as well. So it was magnificent. So for her, it was such an experience because she was like, oh, that's really good. It was like, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly what I needed. And so to summarize, meditation without guidance, it's just being silent in your mind.
That's
Okay?
exactly what I was going to say, is that's my perspective of it. It's that silence. It's just because silencing the brain is just so good for the brain. Again, going back to that prefrontal
Totally.
cortex, whereas
Yes.
self-hypnosis or hypnosis, I should say, is really about like here's something that I want to work on. Um, whether it's weight loss, whether it's sleeping better, whether it's, speaking, public speaking, getting on an airplane. I mean, like, it's endless what somebody can come to you with and say, here's what I want to work on. Here's what I'm struggling with in my life. Like, even like making decisions.
Yes.
It
helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you pointed something that it's really interesting about self-hypnosis and hypnosis. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. All of it.
All hypnosis is
It's
self-hypnosis.
self-hypnosis.
Can you say more about that? Like, just explain to my listeners.
What I mean with that is that even though you are listening to an audio of hypnosis, if you don't want to be in hypnosis, you are not.
Right. Okay.
You see what I mean? The thing is, like, you can hear an audio of hypnosis and not be hypnotized.
Yeah, so you can override.
Yes. You can hear it and you can be with the eyes open and not follow the instructions. You have always the option of choosing to do the exercises or not. That's why all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Mireia,
a pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of my In-Demand Signature Speech program, and sharing your experience with my listeners. If somebody came to you and said that they were considering joining this program, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that do it. Do it because it's fun, it's helpful, it's easy, it's so insightful, and you are going to enjoy it deeply.
And you're going to use it again and again.
And again and again. Yes.
Yeah, because you've already been giving. Yeah, now you're a speaker.
Sharing messages
with people. Will you also share with people how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you, where they can follow you? Because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are going to be listening to this who really could use some hypnosis help themselves.
Okay, so you can find me in Instagram by Mireia, Mireia .harmonylife. It's Harmon. It's HARM.
Don't worry, I'll have all those. I'll have all those links down in the show notes.
Okay, so you can find me in Instagram. You can find me in my website as well, Harmony in Life. You can DM me. Please do so. I love DMs and I love to connect with people. And let's have a beautiful conversation. No pushing, no trying to convince you to do anything. Just feel free. And there is an audio of hypnosis for free in my website. If you're interested, it's about self-love and about intuition and how to listen to your intuition to help you decide
Ooh, very nice.
So it's kind of funny that you talk about decisions, yeah, so you can find me there, and I will be so happy to connect with you anytime.
Yeah, you really are fantastic over in DMs, building relationships with people. And that free audio, we will make sure that link is down in the show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's down below. And thank you once again. It has been such a damn pleasure, like just connecting with you and having this conversation.
Thank you, Laurie-Ann, for this time. It was a pleasure. Anytime.
Great. Thanks for hanging out with me. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And join me over in my private Facebook group for more tips, community, and free trainings. You'll find the link in the show notes. You can also help this podcast reach more listeners by leaving a review. And as a thank you, each month I pick one of my reviewers to win a free coaching call with me. So if you haven't done so already, please leave a review and you could be the next winner.